Hi, my name is Jasita Pangilinan, and this is my Performance Assessment Development Project. The Common Core standard I use is a Kindergarten Standard for Literacy. It states to use a combination of drawing, dictating, and writing to compose opinion pieces in which they tell a reader the topic or the name of the book they are writing about, and state an opinion or preference about the topic or book. For example, my favorite book is. The knowledge learning targets are: students will understand how to draw to compose an opinion piece to tell a reader their opinion on a topic. Students will also understand how to write to compose an opinion piece to tell a reader their opinion on a topic. The reasoning learning targets are: students will determine their favorite things. The skill learning targets are: students will use their writing skills to state what their favorite things are, and also students will use their vocabulary skills to present to their teacher and peers their final product. Last, the product learning targets are: students draw what their favorite things are on paper, students will write in sentences what their favorite things are, students will present their writing and drawing to explain to peers and teacher what their favorite things are. The student's goal for the standard is to determine what their favorite things are, present to their peers and teacher what their favorite things are, use fine motor skills and creativity to draw a picture of their favorite things, and use fine motor skills to hold a pencil to write what their favorite things are in full sentences. The student's role is a writing piece, creator, and presenter. The student's audience will be their peers and their teacher. The student's procedure will be using paper, crayons, markers to create a drawing and written piece. The student's product will be written piece and drawing of favorite things. Here is the first part of the student template. For the assessment for the Common Core standard, the student will be required to make a mini booklet of all their favorite things. The student will finish the sentence and write out what the favorite thing is, and then they will draw their favorite thing. The materials needed is paper, crayons, markers, colored pencils, erasers, a stapler, and scissors. On the student template, the goals are written in simpler form, and it states, I can draw my favorite things, I can write my favorite things, and I can present my favorite things. This is the second part of the student template. It includes the procedures and the instructions of the assessment/assignment. As you can see, there are 8 instructions that are written out in sentence form with a correlating picture. Number 1 is gather my materials. Number 2 is write my name on the cover of the book. Number 3 is think about what are my favorite things. Number 4 is to draw my favorite things. Number 5 is to write the name of my favorite things. Number 6 is have an adult help me cut out each page on guided line. Number 7, staple pages all together. And number 8, present to my classmates and teacher. Here is the student rubric. The student rubric is presented to the students before the assessment, during the assessment, and after the assessment. The rubric is broken down into 4 ways to assess a child. The first way is drawing. The second way is the writing. The third way is presenting. And the fourth way is following project instructions. While looking at the rubric, you can see how the teacher will assess the child on this assessment. For example, under drawing, you will see that under needs support, if the child did not draw any favorite thing, they will receive between a 0 and 1 point. If the child drew 1 or 2 of their favorite things, it will be under developing, and they can score a point between 2 and 3. The third one is meets requirements. If the student drew 3 or more of their favorite things, they can reach a point between 4 and 5. The next part of this presentation will be about the assessment critique summary. Key 1 is assessment serves a clear and appropriate purpose. For my assignment, I focus on the Common Core Standard for Kindergarten Literacy that states, use a combination of drawing, dictating, and writing to compose an opinion piece in which you tell a reader the topic or the name of the book they are writing about, and state an opinion or preference about the topic or book. How the students will demonstrate their knowledge for this standard is by making a book of their favorite things. They will need to first draw their favorite thing and then write about it, or a sentence of why it is their favorite thing. Once they have completed their book, they will then present it to their peers and teacher. Who will use this information is a teacher. This assignment is a great assessment to see if the student can demonstrate how to communicate their opinion on a related topic to an audience by making a book. How the assessment informs instructional decisions to support student learning it by allowing the teacher to see if the information that was taught by them was clearly presented to the class. The assessment also allows the teacher to know which students also need time on this standard and extra help to understand it. The student creating a book that involves drawing and writing certainly fits the criteria of a performance assessment. Performance assessments require students to do something, to create a product, to perform a process, or both. From Brookhart, 2017. This is a formative assessment, an assessment for learning. According to text, formative assessment is a process used by teachers and students during instruction that provides feedback to adjust ongoing teaching and learning to improve students. Achievement of intended instructional outcomes by Popham, 2008. How this assessment aligns with the appropriate needs of the learner is it's developmentally appropriate for a kindergartner. Key number 2 is assessment reflects valued achievement targets. Teachers use learning targets to improve student understanding of the purposes of a lesson or a unit of study and to focus assessment. The learning targets are clear to the teachers. Because the learning targets were rewritten to be about learning about making it student-friendly and using the words I can, such as, I can draw my favorite things, I can write my favorite things, and I can present my favorite things. The type of achievement that can be assessed is for the student to be able to meet the set learning targets, which will prove the way the teacher is teaching is understandable. The learning targets are the focus of the instruction. Why this learning target is important to the learning outcomes is because the target sets the learning activity. The target allows the teacher to set the goal for the student to meet. The targets are clear to students because the standard was rewritten in a student-friendly language. The standards are straightforward and a bit more inviting. Key number 3, design. Yes, the assessment method does match the learning target. The target is for the student to use a combination of drawing, dictating, and writing to compose opinion in which they tell a reader the topic they are writing about and state an opinion or preference about the topic or book. The assessment allows the student to use their creativity to demonstrate their knowledge on this standard. By drawing their favorite thing, they're meeting the drawing portion of the standard, and by writing their favorite thing, they're meeting the writing portion of the standard. The sample does represent learning appropriately because it is a developmentally appropriate activity for a kindergartner. It also is not an assessment that is testing the student's full understanding, like at the end of the unit, but just to see if they are grasping how to answer a question and communicate it through drawing and writing. The scoring rubric grades the student on drawing, writing, presenting, and following project instructions. The rubric is very easy to use and self-explanatory. The assessment does control for bias. Why the performance task design is best for this assessment? Because it is not a standard assessment that consists of multiple choice questions and true and false. This assessment just assesses if the student is on the right road of learning and understanding what the task is. Text also states, when you use assessment consistently throughout instruction, it will help you move students from basic knowledge for deeper understanding and from knowledge and understanding to the higher cognitive levels of synthesis, analysis, and application, stated by Greenstein 2000. Key number 4, communication. Formative assessment can help a teacher determine the student's academic and social emotional development on an ongoing basis and is well aligned with developmentally appropriate instruction. How assessment results can be used to guide instruction is that formative assessment provides the information teachers need to monitor progress, adjust daily instruction to meet ongoing needs, and differentiate instruction to ensure that all children meet or exceed their grade level expectations. Students get a clear understanding of the learning objectives when students use a rubric and display related samples of students' work as examples. Students then gain a feeling of confidence that the work is doable. Feedback can be very effective by providing the students with a boost of self-confidence and so much more. Feedback is an essential part of effective learning. It helps students understand the subject being studied and gives them clear guidance on how to improve their learning. How achievement can be communicated accurately is by the teacher filling out the rubric and commenting on it as well to explain where the student lost points at, if they lost any. The student and parent would be the first recipients of this feedback. Yes, considerations are given for providing effective feedback to improve learning. Some consideration might be if the child has a special need or is English their second language. Key number 5, student involvement. Yes, the assessment practices to meet the student's learning needs because it has pictures with simple worded instructions for the student and it is developmentally appropriate. Yes, there will be opportunities for self-assessment and goal setting available for students. One opportunity would be a person sit down between student and teacher and the teacher asks questions of, did you draw your favorite things or did you write your favorite things? This will allow the student to do a self-evaluation if they meet the assignment's criteria. Students can track and communicate their evolving learning by allowing them to ask questions to the teacher about the assignment or ask their peers. Yes, the design allows the students to be able to navigate the task independently and evaluate their progress accurately. The assessment has a student-friendly instruction to allow the student to navigate their assignment themselves. Here you will find my references: Burkhart, Common Core Standards, Greenstein, and Popham. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation today on my Performance Assessment Development Project.